All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna finish cooking by myself because that's what I'm gonna do. But this guy right here, he's gonna do all the dishes.
That's me.
That's why I waited till Saturday so he's home to do the dishes. They're stacking up over there, so he's better get on it.
Getting out of control.
I only wait for him to do the dishes because, like, I rather bake and he can cook, he can clean.
And then I can eat it.
I wish Chris was home today so he could do the dishes as I bake. Herb. And it's neat to hear people's stories. Chris, he's making so much noise. I might just kick him out of the house. So anyway.
I have nothing on my hands. I did nothing to those kids or her.
Of course, absolutely no one could have forecast how strong this thing would be whenever it blew through and that it would leave no one left standing except for Chris Watts himself. But certainly, they knew that some clouds were brewing because you don't have to be on Shanann's social media for very long to see that there is some disturbing trends. There are some posts that would be cute if there were like one or two of them, but then you get the whole lineup and you start to get a picture and it's not necessarily a positive one. Of course, that was the intention. Many of them are created for the obvious and sole purpose of being humiliating and not for herself, for her family. Especially for her husband, who obviously wasn't as great in many of the social instances as his wife was. Possibly even something that made them a good match, if you could stay off the low or high ends of the spectrum concerning social media addiction. Social media is presenting our society with a lot of new questions to ask and a lot of new concerns that I think that we should be considering and discussing. Imagine what the friends saw, because they saw all of the social media before it was ever scrubbed or cleansed. They saw plenty. And you can hear tidbits of that bleed through, but basically you hear it bleed through in fluff comments. For most people, what would be considered fluff comments, not even a part of the main narrative. The main narrative tended to be, we had no idea, we don't know what we missed.
Cece played patty cake on Daddy's head. Cece played patty cake on
Chris
Daddy's
loves
head.
Shanann?
Go whack.
Oh God, he loved her. Yes, I believe he loved her at first. I believe he did.
Whack it, Daddy. Don't spit.
Crazy.
Yeah.
No, and it's just one of those yes man, you know, you get in love. Even Shanann, when I was there, when I moved out there, she was like, can you tell me a little bit of an asshole? Can you come down, call me a bitch or something,
Yeah.
you know? And it's just one of those yes man, you know, he was in love with her. That's why. He was in love. He was
Whack it, Daddy.
like
Whack it, Daddy.
obsessed.
One more time,
And
Daddy.
I
Whack it,
think that
Daddy.
he probably had in his head, if I can't have you, no one will. And he either did that and the kids had to have seen, I don't see any other way why he would do that,
Yeah.
you know, at all.
Tell me what happened when they were reported missing. What did you find out? How did you find out? Who told you?
I think Ronnie called me Ronnie called me and said that they're missing, and I thought, I don't believe it. I didn't believe they were missing. I believed that she was going to punish Chris. She was just going to punish him, take the girls and just punish him. I had no idea of anything else. Christopher called and said, Mom, they're searching the house. I said, okay, that's fine. I mean, and I still was not worried. I was not worried. I just thought Shanann had run off with girls.
Have you seen Gone Girl? No.
Yeah, I've seen it. But I know Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
The one with Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
I don't know that she's dumb enough if you will take it this far.
Yeah. Like,
You know?
like I could, that's what I'm saying. I could understand that she takes her stuff and says I'm leaving and I'm not telling you where I went, or I went home to North Carolina. That's where my family is.
That's the hardest, yeah.
But
I mean, but sometimes
the
you leave and you see all the stuff on Facebook and then you get too scared to say, right, that's not too far.
yeah,
Like, I don't know.
yeah.
That's exactly how they were around us. I mean, it was always hands all over, one another, and it was always fun, laughing. So yeah, I mean, there was not once when we hung out with them was it like, you know what I mean? There was
no aggression, no anger, no like snarky side comments, nothing like that. Like it was fun and easy,
lighthearted. I mean, like even if Chris did something a little like prepare something for food wrong, it was more like poke fun at him. Like,
right?
It was never. I mean, they just seemed, like a happy couple.
You know, what's weird is I find myself smiling and laughing. That's not back your memory, but
Yeah.
the person you thought you knew way back when. And to you, that is still Chris. That's this person out here that's now that we know and we see in the news. That's not the Chris you know.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's two completely different people at this point. Like, yeah. It's just hard, like just being with him and seeing how he was. Like he never once like broke down crying or like, I just feel, I don't know, like it's just weird. Like I feel like if we had went out to his house and he turned us away and shut us out, then we'd been like, oh, this is weird. But he welcomed us in just like normal. Like it was another day with Chris. I mean, just on his phone trying to figure out what to do and, just trying to manage conversations through, everyone out of town. And
Is there any other?
Would you think anything different? No. She knew what he loved. He knew what she loved. It worked, right? Everything worked. He is a hardworking kid. Anything she said to do, he would do it. 100% of the time. Hey, my parents are going to move out here. You're going to fly out to the East Coast and you're driving the moving truck back and they're going to fly home. He's like, I'm good with that. I'll drive the truck so they can fly home. They don't have to ride in the truck, right? This is the kid that did this. So there's no way, shape, or form would I ever believe this could happen.
Well, there's certainly a consensus with a lot of the stuff that's out there that is a very accurate description from a lot
100%.
of people.
Did you initiate that, or did he?
I initiated it.
Okay. And was there like a back and forth conversation, or how did that go?
No, it was just me basically saying, I hope he's okay, I hope the family's okay, that I knew he was busy and he's probably got a lot going on, and that if he needed to speak to me or if he needed anyone to talk to, he could let me know. And then he just reached back and said, thanks, man, and yeah, he's been busy.
All right.
And that was it.
Okay. So before that, when's the last time you had a conversation with him?
Before that, right off the top of my head, it was also a text message, and it was about, I want to say, a week and a half before this incident happened. Again, it was just through text message. And I was basically telling him, like, hey, man, reach out to me, like, talk to me. And he would text me back, but he never called me, and we never saw each other.
Okay. Yeah. Was that unusual?
No, I just knew he was busy. I just knew he had a lot of things going on. Just because the things that were going on with the family at the time, I could tell, like, he was busy. And I knew. I didn't press him. I didn't put any pressure on him. I just letting him know I'm here to talk if you need to talk. And,
okay.
Yeah. And he said he would. He just didn't reach out.
Okay. And just for my clarification, this is the text message before they went missing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what kind of family things were going on?
I just knew that his mom, Cindy, were fighting again. Because Cindy had called me and told me that they had started fighting again. And I kind of was a little upset with Chris because I text Chris and just let him know, like, hey, man, this has got to stop. Like, I'm tired of hearing this. And he reached back to me and said he understood, he knew what was going on, and he kind of clued me in on him and Shanann are going to separate and get a divorce. And that's when I told him, like, well, I'm here if you need to talk, man. And he said he would reach out to me some more, but he never really did after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were Shanann and Cindy fighting about?
She said that, and this is coming from Cindy, that Cece had a food allergy to chocolate, and I guess Cece ate a whole bowl of Hershey Kisses, and Shanann came into the living room and was just yelling at Cindy and, telling her she's trying to kill her baby or something like that because of the food allergy. And Cindy had no idea, and she claimed she had no idea about it. And they had this huge argument, and she ended up kicking Shanann out of the house, telling her, to leave. And then shortly after that, Cindy called me crying and afraid because she was afraid she had just lost Chris, that, Shanann was going to, turn Chris against her, like what has happened in the past. And
okay.
So she had called me crying and just letting me know, and that's when I just text Chris, like, hey, man, like, what's going on, dude? And yeah.
Okay. You said that in the past Shanann's turned Chris against Cindy. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so right around the time when they were engaged, I believe, Chris and Shanann were engaged, this huge fight between Cindy, Jamie, and Shanann was taking place, and they all felt like Shanann was trying to turn Chris against the family, and for a little bit there, Chris was on Shanann's side, not really defending his family. But I guess over the course of a year or two, they ended up patching things up, and they finally made amends, and they had back to a talking relationship again. And then this happened, and so it was like we were basically going back to square one.
Gotcha. And so could you tell, was Chris taking Shanann's side again in the fight about the food allergy thing?
Yeah, so Cindy did say that Chris initially was on Shanann's side, like he was upset with his family. But then, out of nowhere, Cindy did text me or call me again and say that Chris has decided to separate from Shanann.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, like, it was Chris, he was even telling me during the text messages that he had seen the true side of Shanann and that he is done. He doesn't want to be with her anymore. And so we're like, okay. And that's why I was like, hey, man, I'm here if you want to talk. You know, I understand this is going to be a big process, so just let me know, man. And he said he would, but he never reached out.
Okay. Do you know what he meant by that when he said he saw the true side of Shanann?
I didn't ask because I didn't feel like it was my position to dig, but I had assumed that he had seen, because for years his family has always assumed that Shanann has been pretty shady, and I never really saw it, but they all had reason to believe that she was very, very, there was something about her, and Chris said he had finally seen whatever his family had seen. He had finally seen that side of her, and yeah.
Do you know what it was that the family was seeing in her?
She was just, this is what they were telling me, is that she was very shady. She had a dark past, like, I don't know, like sleeping with her old boss, and even while she was seeing Chris, and money issues with her boss. She was just very conniving, and that was what they were telling me. Now, when I saw Shanann, I didn't see any of that. Like, she was always very pleasant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you never had any issues with Shanann?
No, I mean, I never saw that side. I didn't really trust her just because of a lot of things that were being said.
Right.
Yeah, but I never actually physically saw anything.
Okay.
That's the hardest, yeah.
But
I mean, but sometimes you leave and then you see all the stuff on Facebook and then you get too scared to say anything, and now it's gone too far.
Yeah.